All right, and welcome to Mr. B's math class. Today we're going to look at 12.1, median and mode. So our student outcome for today is I can determine the median and mode of a data set. The key terms we're going to look at today are median, which is when we look at it, it's the middle number in a set of data after the data has been arranged in order. So that's when we look at what we got here. Once you've put in order 2, 5, 6, 8, 9, when we look at it, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means the exact middle number is right here. So it's 6, so our median is 6. Mode is just the most frequently occurring number in a set of data. So for example, if we had data that looks like this, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 7, our mode is our 3 because it's the most frequently occurring number. It occurs more than once. So that's our mode. The last thing we have is our measure of central tendency. So more or less, that's just the value that represents a center of a set of data. So we're going to look at it a little more in depth at the end of this lesson. Just remember that it's a set of data looking at it, and typically it's using a table. So we'll move on to our first example. So finding the median and the mode. Well, there's a couple of steps that will help us when we're looking for this. So step 1, it says, is list all the values in order from smallest to largest. So when we're looking at a bunch of numbers, it's just listing them in order. And step 2 is determining your median and mode once you've got it. So that's pretty much the pretty easy part of this, is just doing step 1 here, and everything else will fall into place. So let's use what we just looked at here and look at example 1. So it says, what is the median and mode of the following numbers? 3, 6, 5, 6, 1, 4, 2. Well, when we look at them, we know they're not in order. So we need to first put them in order from smallest to largest. So let's do that right now. So if we look at it from smallest to largest, well, obviously 1 is our smallest number, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, and 6. So we've got them in order, perfect. Now if we look at it, we're looking for our median and our mode. Median we know is the exact center of it. So if we were just to look at the center, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means that if we divide that by 2, we divided 7 divided by 2, we're going to get 3.5, which means it's going to be right in the middle after 3. So if we look at it like this, 1, 2, 3, we have 1, 2, 3, which means that our middle number is right there. So our median is 4. Now, our mode, as we know, is the most frequently occurring number in a set of data. Well, when we look at it, 1 is just one of, 2 there's just one of, 3 just one of, 4, 5. But when we look over here at our 6s, there's 2 6s, so they're the most frequently used number, which means our mode is 6. So it's not really complicated stuff. So let's try another one just to kind of keep the flow. So example 2, it says the App Store had the following number of downloads for Fortnite each hour. 34, 42, 37, 44, 46, 42, and 51. What is the median and mode? Well, again, when we look at our last example, we know step 1, we need to arrange the data from smallest to largest. So if we were to look at these bigger numbers here, we know that right off the bat, 34 is our smallest number, and 51 is our biggest number. So let's just start putting them in order. So we've got 34. The next biggest number here, 37, 42, oops, there we go, 42, 44, 46, and 51 to end it off. So we've aligned them up from smallest to largest, which is perfect, and now we're just looking for our median and our mode. So we know before as well, our median is the exact center. So if we were to count up again, I mean, you could do it both ways. You could just cross out each side as well. You could go like this if you really wanted to find the median as well. You could just cross out each side until you get to the exact center here, which we know is now 42. Or you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like we talked about, and divide it by 2, because that'll find us the center, which again is 3.5, which means it's right after the third number. And if we look, 1, 2, 3, there's the middle. So whatever works. I personally like, dividing, but if you like to cross out, that works as well. So our median number is 42. And our mode, we know we're looking for the most frequently occurring number. Well, when we look here, there's only 134, so it can't be that. There's only 137, can't be that. Oh, all of a sudden here, we've got 142 and another 42, and then nothing else. So because 42 is used twice, our mode also happens to be 42. So let's try one more example here, okay? So it says example 3, solving from a frequency table. So this comes back to that central tendency. So a frequency table. So it says a new t-shirt company sold 26 shirts on their first day, which we can see in this column here. It says the table shows the number of shirts sold according to their price. What were the mode and median for the t-shirt price? So that means that we can see that these are different shirts that sold for different prices. So when we look here, this $8 shirt, they sold 6 of them. The $14 one, they sold 7 of. 5 of the 17, 4 of the 20, and 4.25. So we need to figure out our median and our mode for our shirt prices. So step 1, we're going to look at it and say, what would our mode be? Well, we're going to look right at the right-hand column here for the most purchased shirt. This will be easy. So all we're looking for to see is which shirt sold the most. Well, 6, 7, 5, 4, and 4. Well, it's clear right now that 7 is the most frequently sold shirt. There's 7 of these ones, everything else is smaller. So we know that when we're looking at this, our mode, there are 7 shirts sold and the price was 14. So our mode is the $14 shirt because it sold the most out of any of the shirts. Doesn't matter that there's 4 of each of these because we're only looking at right here the cost, the type of shirt. So our mode is already found. The $14 shirt sold 7 while the other one sold less. Now it says add up the numbers and divide by 2 to find the middle number. Well, we know that if we were to put the numbers together, right, we have 6, 7, 5, 4, and 4. Well, guess what? All that added together gives us the original 26 they were talking about up here, because 26 shirts were sold. To divide by 2, we're going to get 13. So that means that our middle number, okay, is somewhere between the 13th and 14th number is our median. Okay, somewhere like just like the last time it was 7 divided by 2, it's the same here. So we know that whenever we get to that 13th or 14th number, we're going to have our median. So we need to list all the prices in order and stop at this number right in here. So if we start at the very bottom, okay, the lowest price is 8. So that shirt was sold 6 times. So we're going to go 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, and 8 because it sold 6 times. That $14 shirt sold 7 times, so 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, and 1, 2, 3, 1 more, 14. Now we're already up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're so close. We said we were looking for number 13, which means that the next one we have here is 17. 17. Now we don't need to go on because we said we were looking for the 13th to 14th number, that in-between spot. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. So here is our spot. Right in between these two numbers is our median. So what is right in between those two numbers? The exact midway point of 14, 15, 16, and 17. Well, if we cross them out, it's right in the middle, which becomes $15.50. Now I know this might be a little bit complicated. We're going to go over it more tomorrow in class, but as long as you can remember that the mode, we're just looking at the most frequently used number here. And the whole point behind this, everyone, is that instead of having to write a million of this down here, they've simplified these numbers and shrunk them down into a table so it's easier to read and understand. because they could have just written each of these numbers out, and that would have been a lot, 26 numbers, and there was a lot of data to go through. But by putting it into a frequency table, it makes it a little easier to see. So that's it for today. We'll go through it more tomorrow in class, so don't worry about it. And that's it for today. All right.